This is 101 ESPN from Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly, St. Louis's home loan expert, American Standard Heating and Air, and the BMR Commander Go Pack at Supplement Superstores.
Here at Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans on The Bernie Show, we're joined by one of the stars of last year's Super Bowl, Victor Cruz of the New York Giants, wide receiver. And Victor, first of all, really nice to visit with you. And I wanted to take you back a year ago, and all week long the players here have been asked, "How's the week gone? Is the media stuff on your nerves?" What do you remember about Super Bowl week, the run up to the game? Was it kind of a blur, or were you able to savor every minute?
I was definitely able to savor every minute. I think the best parts were just practice and locker room stuff and spending time with my teammates, man. I think those guys were as nervous and as excited as we were. Each and every day, it was a new experience for us and a new feeling. So it was just a great time to spend with those guys, man. And I'm glad we came out victorious.
Is it all the stuff that is part of this big Super Bowl circus? Are the players largely shielded from it? I mean, I know you got some obligations, but once you're practicing, once you're in the locker room, once you're in a hotel, is it close to business as usual?
It's definitely close to business as usual, especially, with us and Coach Coughlin. He tries to keep it as strict as possible, gives us a nice early curfew so we can keep our feet up and keep our mind focused on the task at hand, which is winning a big football game.
Well, the good news is you probably were able to have a little bit more fun this week in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. The bad news, I know you'd like to be getting ready for the game.
Most definitely. I definitely prefer to be on the other end of it and getting ready to get to win another Super Bowl. But, you can't win them every year, and we understand that, and it's good to be sitting here with you guys.
Last season, obviously a breakout year for you and just an exceptional year, and all the way through the Super Bowl. How did it change your life, and how did you handle sort of the instant fame, where a guy really blows up?
It definitely changed my life a lot. It's definitely, I can't go to the mall and go to these specific places that I used to go without people recognizing me and things like that. But it's a blessing, man, and credit to my family for, they keep me humble. They don't care about how many touchdowns I scored last game or how many yards I had for the season. I'm still the same old Victor that grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, that had to wake up and take the garbage out. So I give a lot of credit to my family that keeps me humble and keeps me grounded.
When I'm going to go back to last year's Super Bowl. Like, I know one of the questions this week, a lot of the players in this game Sunday, it'll be their first time at a Super Bowl. And what's that like, that moment when you either come out for the warm-ups, but I think even more than that, when you're coming through that tunnel and it's about to go down. I mean, can you describe that to anybody who ever dreamed of that moment?
It's exhilarating, man. That moment when as soon as you peek out that tunnel and that little bit of light hits you and those fireworks are going off and you're bursting out that tunnel. It's a feeling that can't be described, man. You got to feel it and you got to be there, and it's unreal. It's unreal. The goosebumps that go through your arms and your body it doesn't compare to anything else.
People really like you, and I think one reason is you're a very personable guy, but people love your dance. No doubt about it. That I don't think you cultivated that thinking that it would be kind of good for marketing or image, but it sort of took off like that. And again, Matt, you probably tell this story all the time, but how did you come up with it? And is it kind of fun when you walk through airports and stuff? I bet you got people stopping and dance, kind of trying to do the dance too, show you their dance.
Yeah. It started week 3 of last year when I got my first start, and one of our position coaches, Coach Sullivan, who's now the offensive coordinator at Tampa Bay, he comes up to me. He's like, "Man, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. You got to do something to represent your culture." And I'm like, "Coach, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to just catch a football in this game, man, and pray for the best after that." So he was like, "No, you got to dance. You got to dance in that end zone." And I was like, "All right, Coach." I kind of shrugged him off just to continue practice and kind of get it out of my head. So pre-game, he kind of comes up to me and gives me the look, and I'm like, "Oh, man, I don't know if I can do this." And then so lo and behold, at my first catch, I'm going up the sideline. And I'm about at the 3-yard line. I'm like, "Man, I'm about to score. I got to do this dance now." So I get in the end zone, and I start breaking out the dance, and it instantly just took off from there. My grandmother's the one who taught me how to do it, and it just immediately took off from there.
And I think that's why people love it, because of your grandmother, and it's like a family thing,
Exactly.
Hey, one more thing for you, Victor, and who do you think is going to win the game? You just got a thought?
I'm going 49ers, man. I think defensively, I think it's going to be a defensive game first and foremost. I think it's going to be low scoring, and I think the 49ers are going to come away with it. I think Colin Kaepernick is going to make a play that's going to change the game and change the outcome of the game. So I think I'm going with the Niners.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, the Giants have had their number when you've played them. And although I guess this year Smith was still the quarterback, but so maybe it would have been a different challenge anyway. But the Giants played the Niners very well, not only this year but last year, obviously. So they're a good team. But and strangely enough, the Rams this year, kind of had their number. I don't know. What do you think the key is to dealing with the Niners, and what do you got to do to them to stop them?
I think you got to get some pressure on the quarterback. I think that's the only way to disrupt their backfield, disrupt the timing back there. Because once they build some timing and once they get the running game going, and they can hit you with the play action, and especially now with Colin Kaepernick in that pistol offense a little bit that they use, it's definitely tough to stop. So I think once you get some pressure in that backfield and get Kaepernick on the ground a couple times, we'll see if he can get back up and continue to make those plays.
That's Victor Cruz of the New York Giants, and again, he's teaming with Speed Stick, and you can follow him during the game at Team Vic, VIC, on Twitter. He'll be live tweeting the game. You can also tweet at Speed Stick your best handle it moments with the hashtag handle it, and Victor, of course, will tell you how he's been able to handle his new fame and celebrity and just breaking out as a star in the NFL. We appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
That's Victor Cruz. We'll be back with more from New Orleans after this on The Bernie Show.